Devin, the colors around us that we take for granted may not be perceived the same by those suffering from color blindness. Here to tell us more about this is Nurse Christina Paris of the VA. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad you made it here. It's a little icy out there.
I had to take it slow, but yeah.
You know, always good to be cautious out there on the roadways. But let's get right into color blindness. So, do all people with color blindness see gray?
They don't. And, you know, that was kind of a misconception I think that a lot of people have, including myself. Actually, so we'll talk about the basics. So when we look, our eyes, the pupil is kind of like a window, and light goes in, it goes right to the back. There's this little like C-shaped sort of thing in the back of our eye called the retina. And in that are a bunch of photoreceptors. They're called rods and cones. We have nearly 1 million rods, and that's what helps us see at night. So when we are in low vision, or you know, you're getting up in the middle of the night walking through your house, the rods are what help you see around you. Now the cones, and there's almost about 6 million of those are what show color. Now we have 3 different types of cones. We have L, M, and S. And those cones represent 3 colors that we see, which are blue, red, and green. And the red and green cones are the ones that are most affected by color blindness. Also, it affects men more than women. 1 in 12 males are colorblind, and
to some degree.
Correct, because it's not all gray. So you might see reds a little different. I mean, everybody sees color differently. What you see, you know, is my shirt being pink. Some may say it's red. Some may say it's mauve.
I could have swore it was blue.
Yes, lots of different colors. Yeah.
But all right, so what are any of the causes or symptoms to watch out for?
So one of the big symptoms, you know, so babies are all born colorblind and start to develop color around 6 months. So usually you'll notice when kids are in school, they're not recognizing colors appropriately. They're having difficulty distinguishing between the colors and different shades. That's usually when you find out. A lot of people just go around with color blindness and they've just gotten used to what red looks like for them, or green. But if you do have some questions, there are tests you can do. There's the little circle with it's different colors of circles, and you have to find the number that's in there, and so that can determine.
It's kind of like when you're at the eye doctor's.
Right, exactly. Yep, and so that checks for color blindness.
Well, neat. That's good to know. Yeah. I'm learning so much more now.
Yeah.
So, is there a treatment for color blindness, perhaps?
So there is no cure. You can get special contact lenses. There are actually apps on your phone, which I Googled, or I went to my app store to see. There are lots of them. Some of them you can hold your photo, your camera, and it will help you distinguish colors. Some of the apps that are on phones will give you tests, color blindness tests that you can take to see what color blindness you have. But anytime you have questions about your vision, your sight, you should always go and talk to your doctor. It's always good to get eye exams done. I think they say every 2 years.
Really?
Sorry for the optometrist if I'm off, but you should, it definitely as an adult, routinely go in and see an eye doctor.
Absolutely. I know, especially if I wear contacts lenses, and they won't let me get new ones unless I'm in there at least once a year.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, you want to make sure there's no changes or what the changes are.
And they haven't told me yet that I'm colorblind, so I've made it this far.
That's good. Then you're probably doing okay.
Well, thank you, Nurse Christina. That's incredibly interesting to know that it's not just all gray. It's shades of it. It's
shades of different colors. You might see greens differently. You might see reds or blues differently. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that people are, you know, they can go to their doctors and they can get a little bit of help with identifying and living with it and moving forward.
Correct.
So thank you again for coming on in on this icy Tuesday morning.
I know. Everybody be safe.
Yes. And moving right along, coming up, we have What's Trending, including